Starburns Audio.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Country, the Virus Edition, aka the Panty Nuts.
AKA two guys, one salmon, Couchy. Both guys love Fauci.
AKA two men, one Afghan between them.
AKA two bros, no garden hose.
AKA two Jews, no Rod Carews.
AKA two Jews, no Spiro Agnews.
AKA two Jews, no Harmon Killebrews.
We're here. We got the news.
AKA two Jews, we got the news, but no Terry Crews.
There you go.
AKA two Jews, no Pablo Cruz.
AKA two Jews, no Jose Cruz.
There you go.
Can we keep going?
Keep going. Yes, yes.
So
AKA two Jews, no Victor Cruz.
There you go. We are inundated every day with stories. I think there's a moment every night where we're like, how are we going to come up with material for tomorrow? And then the world happens.
Yeah.
And we realize
there are moments where there's not enough. And you're like, is this enough for a story? I don't know if this is enough to sort of give you guys. You guys, look, you're very demanding. You're not demanding at all. But we put a standard as to where we want to go with these things. And so.
And also, we kind of hit an interesting milestone today. We started ourselves on TikTok.
We're on TikTok, guys. Look us up at Sklar Brothers. You can join and follow us on TikTok. We're going to start to put clips, kind of smaller clips from the this show on there, and we'll see how it does.
We'll add in some old clips of Cheap Seats. We'll add in some stand-up clips. All that stuff is on the YouTube page as well. We're just trying to find new ways to give more content, and why not figure out every single possible way to get it out there right now. This show is one way to get it out there, and we love this show.
Love this show. Let's jump right in. We said it a bunch on this show. Yeah. We
teased it yesterday accidentally.
Inadvertently. We teased it yesterday, but here's the deal, okay? We said this long. We said it. Here's the deal. Animals are taking over.
They are taking over. This is their time. They're reclaiming what we have taken from them.
For years, we put them down. We put the yoke on them.
We put them in zoo. Take her to the zoo from Rocky 1. Take her to the zoo. So we've gone back to that
Maybe
place.
She doesn't want to go to the zoo.
You know, that's what he says. It's not politically correct. But
then god awful home zoos, forcing them to eat like unclaimed Walmart meat. They don't want it. Having to stare at people with less
that
teeth
gives me a
than
headache.
Them.
Yeah, like James. What's his name?
I don't know.
The guy who had the store and
Garrettson.
James Garrettson. That
Maybe
guy.
Don't forget that.
That guy ate better than most of those lions.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good.
I mean, here's the thing. I bet, and this is just a theory, I think the Lion King, I think they sold tiger meat. I think there was tiger meat at the snack bar.
The Lion King?
The Tiger King.
Okay, you said the Lion King.
I meant the Tiger King. That dude
sold tiger
meat at the snack bar.
Maybe.
Guarantee it.
And yet, here we are still placing restrictions on animals in these times. Who do we think we are?
Can't do that at this point.
Seems almost foolish to do, and yet it's happening. Like the food chain is changing. You have to understand that.
Or just maybe we all recognize, let's leave each other alone for a little while.
So we take you now to a small town in Queensland town in Australia, in the bush. We're going to a bar in the bush.
Local pub out in the bush.
In the middle of nowhere. Is basically, it's like a watering hole. It's a club. It's a church. Club. It's a place to avoid hanging out with your own family at home.
It's probably a boxing gym.
Well, people are definitely fighting.
They're fighting kangaroos if it's
Australia. A confessional. It's an event hall.
Yeah.
July 28th, a pub in the Australian outback has banned a pair of beloved local emus from the establishment for improper acts, including stealing food and defecating on the floor.
Are they sure this isn't the drunkest guy at the bar? Because those two things, stealing food and defecating on the floor, sound like that's the act of the town drunk.
Or Dennis Rodman. I mean, if you want to be serious.
Or Dennis Hopper.
Ban
in the movie
them.
Hoosiers.
Ban them? How do you ban emus?
You can't. I mean,
you won't let it. You're saying you're
not going to let him in. Because an emu is not going to understand the ban.
Every time they try to get in, because they're emus,
they won't understand what the ban is. They're not going to know. You can't ban an animal.
Animals don't get this concept. The owners of the Yarraka Hotel in Yarraka, permanent population 18, Queensland.
Permanent population 18. Well, they posted a sign at the entrance of the pub stating that the town's local emus,
Kevin and Carol,
Thank God it wasn't Karen.
I'm going to go ahead and say that both of them are
Or
males.
women.
Are
I was gonna
male.
say both of them are female.
And they just are like, we're going to call one of you Kevin.
They're no longer allowed inside. All right, permanent population 18. That's the thing I want to focus on for a
It's
second.
never allowed to rise above 18.
So, like, if a baby is born, we have to kill somebody.
Someone's going to die.
Someone's got to die.
So you don't want a baby to get born.
You don't want to be the least valuable person in your Rocco when a baby is born because your time is
You're
numbered.
expendable. And if twins,
Because God forbid they change the sign.
if it's a multiple birth, someone going to get got.
Couple people gonna get got.
Emus have been banned for the establishment for bad behavior, the sign on the door reads. And again, emus can't read.
And they don't
Who
have
is this
bad behavior.
for?
And
Who
they
is-
don't have bad behavior. They're just behaving like animals that want to eat stuff.
It's like when an adult yells at a baby for crying. You're
They
like,
don't know.
they don't know. They don't know.
That's how they communicate.
Jerry and Chris Gimlet. To me, that sounds like a drink that is like you fucked up a gin gimlet.
Yeah.
You screwed it up.
Just give me a gimlet.
Just give me.
You want a gimlet?
Do you want a gimlet? No, I do not.
What's a gimlet? It's
you
when you
put-
pour a gimlet into a beer mug.
And then you put chicken giblets in it.
Ugh.
Chicken nuts into a thing.
Ugh.
Chicken giblets in a gin gimlet. Are you cool with that?
No, I'm not cool with any of that.
The gimblets, the business owner said they had to ban the emus after the large birds learned to climb the front steps. Yeah, they're coming for you.
Mhm.
They are coming for
It's
you.
their time, as we said
This
before.
is what we call evolution. You teach an emu how to go up the steps,
Look,
and
if-
they will ascend the ladder.
But
so
if
to
you
speak.
think an emu can read the sign that says, hey, you're banned, you're not allowed to be
maybe
here.
you believe in evolution more than we do.
Right.
That's an acceleration of
Or
evolution.
maybe it's intelligent design in your eyes.
But I'm guessing whoever wrote the sign was so drunk they wrote it in their own blood.
Or their own feces. Or the emu's feces.
That's right. That they probably misspelled the word emu.
Yeah. EMU, buddy. It's not hard.
They've been stealing things from guests, especially their food, because animals look for food because they're animals and they're
And if
hungry.
you're
especially in the outback where there
if
isn't a
you're
lot of
drunk and you're leaving French fries low enough,
food, expect an emu to get it.
every animal's going to try and get it.
They aren't doing it to screw with your patrons. I love that that's the underlying thing. They're taking food from our patrons.
It makes it seem like it's
Don't
like
they understand what they're doing to our business?
we got to put an end to all this tomfoolery that these guys are perpetrating. They're not perpetrating anything.
They'd stick their heads in and pinch toast out of the toaster, Jerry Gimblett told The Guardian in Australia. So they are evolved. They know how to get the toast when it comes out of the...
Animals have been studying us. We know that. That's a fact. They've been doing
You're
that.
going to come downstairs in your woodsy cabin and you're going to see a deer sitting on the couch, cross-legged, watching Netflix.
watching Ozark.
Yep. But the main reason we ban them is their droppings. They're enormous, very large, and very smelly. And they created great stains, she said. Oh, so
Great
you'd,
stains.
so you'd be cool if they did everything else, but then just shit outside or in the bathroom.
Mhm.
Think of what a power that move that is to take the toast out
Out of the toaster and then just crap
shit
it out all over the floor.
Again, this is Rodman in North Korea at a hotel.
This is clearly happened with the drunkest person in Uraka.
It definitely has. Australians love to drink. They can drink any
If you're a
population on the
drunk,
table.
if you're a drunk in Australia, you're at like insane levels of alcoholism.
Australians don't black out. They
Yeah.
do not black out. Like everywhere else, anybody from
Like
anywhere,
that gene has evolved out of
you
Australian
can't black
life.
out. You cannot black an Australian out. Okay. So yeah, I'm sure a few of your regulars got drunk, stole some toast, and crapped on the floor.
And then blamed it on these
They
two
blamed it
innocent
on these
emus.
poor emus.
Poor emus.
It reminds me of the state pastry in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Now, who knew that they had a state pastry? I always thought they had state birds and a state logo.
Well, being a state with a state pastry tells you one thing about the obesity rates within that state.
We've been to Wisconsin and people love to
People
eat
are
there.
bigger, yes.
Cheese curds, okay? But the state pastry in Wisconsin is the Kringle.
Now, in our minds, when we heard the phrase, like if you hear the phrase "Grandma made a Kringle,"
It sounds like
she took a dump in the house,
like that she can't control her bowels, and then she took
and it's your code word, so you don't make her feel bad. So you're
Grandma
like,
made a Kringle, and it's in the living room. Oh,
oh,
no,
no.
the dog is eating it.
get the dog
Oh,
away from
God,
it.
damn it.
Oh God,
Grandma made a Kringle. It's like the Bubby made a Kishka. It's Grandma made a Kringle.
there it is.
Grandma made a Kringle.
She lost control of
She
her
lost
body.
control of herself, and that is the state. That's what it feels
All
like.
right, let's
right
get
here.
back to the bar and the emus in Australia.
The Gimblets. The Gin Gimblets said they installed a rope barrier outside of the pub and a sign asking customers to remember to close the rope. You're
Is
asking
a rope
too much.
enough?
By the way, you're
way?
asking too much of your Close the
And,
rope.
and if the emus
Of your
have figured out how
pantry.
the steps, they could probably figure out how to go underneath the ropes.
They can eat the goddamn rope. What are you going to post a bouncer there with a clipboard?
telling
and
the
a headset?
emus, hey, you're not on the list.
Nope. You're not wearing the right shoes.
It's one emu in, one emu out. Just like our population. One
so
in,
they have
one
to
out.
wait for an emu to leave. Yeah, exactly.
To leave or die before. So your rock is like a bar or a club that's at capacity.
Gimlet said also, under no circumstances should you let them in, even if they say they're on the list.
Right.
All right.
They are not.
You just made that joke,
I
dummy.
repeat, they are not on the list, no matter what they tell you.
They've lost it. They still hang around each gate, hoping they'll be able to slip in when someone opens it up. Of course, they're smart. Chris Gimlet told the Australian Broadcasting Corp. So not only are they talking to like the Australian, they're
They'll
talking
talk to anyone.
everyone.
Yeah, anyone and everyone.
Like if you leave a media outlet open, the Gimlets will
Get
jump
in
in.
there
You
like
got to
an
keep the
emu.
Gimlets out of the media.
I love this quote. But so far, we are winning the war. Is it a war?
War feels like too much.
Way too much. Like the card game war seems like an overreach when describing this current situation.
Just tell
we're in.
everyone in your 18-person town to close the door behind you when you come to drink. Not everyone will drink in
Close
there.
the door, or else an emu is going to come in and dump on the floor and make the place smell worse than it already does. End of story. That's not a war.
It's not a war.
That's not a war. It's not even a battle. It's not even a scuffle.
But
It's
there's
not
a-
even a scrum.
But there's a little part of me that says, man, Australia has a handle on the coronavirus. And this bar in the Outback's biggest problem is trying to figure out what they're going to do with these two emus who shit all over the place.
Like, wouldn't that be great if we were in that position?
Like, I want to go back to a world when that was our
when these
biggest
two
problem.
birds sneaking into our bar were the biggest problems
Like,
we
to
had.
me, that is like
It's quaint.
they have like a surplus. They're living on house
That's
money.
an embarrassment of riches to be
That's
able
right.
to have an emu shitting in your bar problem.
We have a problem. Oh, you mean the problem like people dying because
because
there's a
of
disease
social
spread?
distancing,
No.
businesses dying
No.
because we can't get
We have
back
an
together.
emu that's stealing our toast. That's a great problem to have.
No
May
one
all of you out there have your biggest
Emus
problem being
may
emus
stealing, nipping
taking
your toast.
All right, there you go. Story number one.
All right, we're off and running.
Animals. We're off and running. All right, we're going to be back here with another story
With a crazy story
about the Confederate flag,
Confederate flag,
or not the Confederate
or
flag.
so people think.
or so people think. We're very Confederate flag sensitive these days, but let's be
Make
clear
sure-
of what we're doing.
Make sure
here.
we're railing against the right flag.
This is Sklar Country, the virus edition. Stay with us. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I want to remind people, follow us on YouTube. We are at Sklar Brothers. Rate and review this podcast. Again, we'll say this to you right now. There's like 40 tickets left for 40 tickets left for Gaffigan.
We may find and release a couple more. We'll find out about that. If
Right now, we're 450 tickets sold for a 490-person event on August 15th. So if you want the tickets, you're thinking about getting them now. And then eventbrite.com, look up Live Dumb People Town. You'll see it there, Jim Gaffigan.
But Sklar Country is on YouTube. Let's subscribe to that.
And
It's
follow us
super
on
easy.
TikTok, guys. We're on TikTok.
Sklar Brothers. Okay.
right.
So now we've come out strong against the
Confederate
Confederate
flag.
flag.
Yeah,
It's
of
come,
course.
well, and look, and I don't think we're being oversensitive. It's come to represent racist and white supremacist movements.
They've adopted it. I mean, it was the flag of the South, which tried to secede from the Union. So they're traitors.
based on, and also
based on an
one of the
economy of
reasons
slavery.
right? So one of the reasons what they were trying to preserve was the right to own people. Okay.
Right.
So it's been deemed disrespectful to many, 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 many people, not just fringe radical people. And even if you can maneuver yourself into a position where you can explain why you think the Confederate flag needs to be there, there's no need. Okay. It's a symbol. It's a symbol on a piece of
Just
fabric.
retire it.
That's all
It's
it is.
okay to retire those things.
It's like the Cosby colorful sweater. All right.
That's right.
We cannot break that out ever again, even if fashion comes around
It's like,
to
wear
that
it.
place again, because it will.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already back to acid wash and high waisted mom jeans.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
The colorful sweater is only a minute or so away, and
It's a beat away.
maybe we can reclaim it. But look, it's tainted. It doesn't need to come around again. Same
Right.
thing. We've evolved beyond the Cosby sweater.
We've evolved beyond the Cosby sweater. Let's
And
be
so I think we've also evolved beyond the Confederate flag. And
That's
we know,
right.
look, we know there are people out there who disagree with us. Randy and I are on a listserv email chain where a bunch of people, have come out and said, what's the big problem? Why is there such an issue? But I will say the numbers of people who are defending the Confederate flag
It's getting smaller.
is dwindling to the core people who stand for, if you're
It's like, whatever. We don't need it.
if there's
I don't
someone
wanna
who's
die-
fighting tooth and nail who wants to die on that hill, then you got to understand who that person
Let's move
actually
all the Confederate flags and the statues, all of them, take them down and move them to a Confederate museum
a Confederate history museum
in South Carolina.
Put in South Carolina. You could pipe in some Kid Rock in the lobby.
You can sell funnel cakes in the snack bar or the bathroom for that matter.
If
I
you
don't
have
care.
sleeves on your shirt, they can ask you to leave.
Or remove them. May we cut your sleeves off, ma'am? Yes, you may.
We'll hold them in this coat room right
That's
here.
right.
You can smoke in there. You're allowed to smoke.
There
anything
can be
you
a
want.
Walmart in the back.
You can buy fireworks.
You can
at
set
the
fireworks off in there.
There are old episodes of Dukes of Hazzard playing above the urinals in the bathroom.
Confederate Museum. You don't have to wear a mask. Confederate Museum.
It sounds like a lot of fun for the people who are into that, and I think those people would get into something like that.
Every drink is served in Dixie cups.
There you go.
Now, here's the one catch, and I don't think people have to know this, but all the money from the Confederate Museum goes to Black Lives Matter. All right. That's just a small little detail.
We'll know that. You don't have to know that.
Just know that you can do whatever you want there. Just take down the flags everywhere else. Put them in the Confederate Museum.
I think that's a solution, Rand.
I agree.
I really do. With that said, people are wanting to take down the Confederate flag.
But before we take it down with the flag and fury,
Let's make sure we're taking down the right flag.
and that's where we find ourselves in this next story.
On a bridge too far. It is literally a bridge. Kirsten, and I want to call her Kajirsten.
Kajirsten,
Kjerstn.
KJ,
And Craig Offenecker.
Offenhecker,
Offenhecker sounds like a Norwegian swear word. Offenhecker.
Offenhecker, or Offenhecker could be like Offenhecker Ford.
Insane.
In the Bystad, Offenhecker's very big in Belleville.
Offenhecker also sounds like the kind of person who tells someone else what to do. Don't be such an Offenhecker. Let him make his own mistakes.
He's never going to learn anything on his own if you're such Offenhecker this, Offenhecker that.
Just get out of his business and stop being such an Offenhecker and let him.
An Offenhecker is someone who always says heck to things.
Right.
You're an Offenhecker.
You go off and heck everything, and you don't let anyone
Just
make
let
their
people
mistakes.
do it. Okay. Don't be such an Offenhecker.
So the Offenheckers bought a Civil War era bed and breakfast in a Michigan town.
Yeah.
Okay?
Civil War era, little unfortunate.
Okay, and they called it the Norwegian Pineapple Inn.
Also unfortunate,
But kind of cute,
it's
right?
kind of cute. Is
Nor-
Norway known
Are they
for
known
pineapples?
for pineapples? I don't think they
I
are.
don't think pineapples they're not indigenous to
A
Norway.
pineapple in Norway is the Nordic version of a tree grows in Brooklyn.
That's
I think.
right.
Great book.
It's like only one.
So they bought this bed and breakfast, the Pineapple Inn,
Sure.
the Norwegian Pineapple.
2018.
They bought it in 2018, and
What do they hang up?
They hung the Norwegian flag opposite the American flag.
Okay, there's a lot of confluence of this. There's the Civil War. There's the Norwegian. Have you seen the Norwegian flag?
Norwegian flag is just a red surface, and it's a cross.
Mhm.
Okay, it's not an X; it's a cross. Right, stand up cross. They figured they were good.
Sort of.
Recently, they have received at least a dozen, in their words, hateful emails and requests to take the flag down.
Because people think it's a Confederate
They're mistaking it for the Confederate flag.
To be clear,
Norwegian flag does have similar colors, but it's a cross. It's not an X. There are no stars on it. It's pretty easy to tell that it's not the Confederate
bars,
flag.
no stars and bars.
Right. It's a cross. It's actually kind of hard to mistake the two. And they've told people, hey, look, you need to take a second look at the flag.
But people still think maybe they're saying you need to take a second look at the Confederacy.
Right. Or they're being a little Offenheckers about
Yeah.
this whole thing. Don't be such an Offenhecker in this. Oh, by the way, also, the Offenheckers have a 12 and 15-year-old
Just like
child
me.
who are both black.
Yeah.
They've adopted black children.
So they would never,
these people would never put up a Confederate flag.
they've adopted them. They don't own them.
Right. They don't view their children as slaves
Or property. They're their kids.
So to avoid, they had so many misunderstandings. They took the flag down. They took the Norwegian flag down.
That's right.
I don't think they needed to take it down.
Yeah.
One of them, there was like a couple that argued about it. You know, this is like an argument that's going to keep going in this couple.
Yep.
But I think they could have solved it in a different way, Rand. I think if they just put up a BLM flag,
That's right.
Black Lives Matter. Who would think that Black Lives Matter more than these two people who have two black
Got
lives
kids.
in their house that they're
Yes.
responsible for.
Thank you.
They're living proof that Black lives matter.
Yes.
They have two black lives in their house that they're trying to make matter.
Although they are teenagers, and I'm sure they have their moments.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a moment or two where they're like,
Ultimate irony is Norway is kind of a white supremacist dream.
when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of in shape, white, blonde gods
Nordic
and goddesses
gods and goddesses.
living in their own country with universal health. Well,
Okay, maybe not the last part.
Universal health care is not bad. But how crazy would that be if, I'm just going to say this, if Trump loses, then a bunch of rednecks just move to Norway.
Yep.
Just
Get
move-
ready, Norway.
And then in 3 years, just like pollute the hell out of that place.
God.
But in the process, let me just say this, in the process, they start to learn about European culture.
Okay.
All right. And then universal health care. And then
They're
start-
fighting for universal health.
and then they start to see that they're part of a bigger world that doesn't revolve around the United States.
Oh my God.
Accidentally, it's like a racist foreign exchange program
Or deprogramming.
or a deprogramming.
right? It's a deprogramming.
It's a deprogramming, and I've never, ever, ever wanted something more like this to happen.
So they flock to Norway because they mistake the Norwegian flag as a
like
flag
a
that is
racist
welcome
haven.
to that.
But accidentally, the byproduct is they become so worldly. They adopt, in a sense, what it means to be in a Scandinavian country as a part of a European Union as bordering Asia.
I love it.
They learn about the world,
I love it.
and we call it a pineapple grows in Norway.
There's our show, guys.
That's it.
All right, that's our show. Hey, take care of yourselves. Look, this is not a hoax, but we got the jokes. Wear a mask. Stay protected. Stay connected. Don't get infected. And we'll see yous tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.